The Joe Rogan Experience.
What are your thoughts on that fight this weekend? Because that's a big fight.
My thoughts on it, bro, like, is way different from everybody else's. You know what I mean? Because people call me crazy all the time, but I think it's gonna be like the same fight that we seen Yoel and Izzy with, where you got two people just staring each other down. You know, not trying to make that move because they both had the capabilities of knocking each other out. Or Francis Ngannou versus a Derrick Lewis. You know what I mean? And with everything, the hype being behind this fight too, Izzy is going to, hopefully, like I said, if he don't apply his emotions into it like he hasn't done with every other fight, I feel like he's going to do enough to win. But I feel like Alex Pereira is not going to be able to apply that pressure on Izzy just because he won't have the energy to sustain that for 5 rounds. Remember, this is a 5-rounder.
Right, because of the fact that he's cutting so much weight.
Thank you. You know what I mean? And then plus, we don't see Alex Pereira move a lot anyway.
Right.
In his fights.
Right.
You only seen with Bruno Silva where he pushed him up against the cage a lot. And that was a good fight to watch.
It was a very good fight to watch.
You know
he got hit in that fight.
Oh, got touched up real good.
Bruno Silva's a very good striker.
Man, big facts, Well, I don't know what to say good, but I get what you're saying. He got good power.
He's in your weight class.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'll be seeing guys and I'll be like, this is why they win in these fights. You know what I mean? So I know that you're not a boxer. I know that you're not a kickboxer, not a heavy striker, because he's more of a jiu-jitsu. He's more of a grappler. But Bruno Silva got good power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he able to wing some of the punches because a lot of times, like, Bruno Silva be getting his ass whooped. Even Jordan Wright was touching him. Jordan Wright was touching Bruno Silva, but then, Jordan Wright just got caught.
Stood in front of him.
Just stood in front of him, got caught. And it was all, and it don't take that much in on the 4-ounce gloves.
And that's why this Pereira fight is so interesting, though, because Pereira has that
He just need that one shot.
Power.
He just need that one shot. But the thing about Izzy, he is patient, and he would. Well, we're not gonna call it boring, but he would strategically break you down all night long for 25 minutes.
Like the Paulo Costa
if he gotta touch that leg all day, he gonna touch it.
Yeah.
If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, if you're not gonna answer back, that's what he gonna do. But I feel like in my heart, that Alex Pereira unfortunately doesn't have the actual ability to fight Izzy the way he needs to win.
For 5 rounds. Because he's so big.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. But I just think between both of them, it's going to be a boring fight. It's not going to be as exciting as people think it might be. And that's the thing. Izzy needs that type of exciting fight right now. Because of the Jared Cannonier fight. We could say Paulo Costa, but that was how long ago? 2020? You know what I'm saying? So we've been expecting this from the champ because he's so pulverized outside the cage with, the French tips, the pearl necklace, you know what I mean? Doing all these little videos and dancing and all that, just showman stuff. But we want to see that showcase in the cage as well, And that's my biggest thing. I'm impressed by Izzy, and I'm a fan of Izzy, first off. But I feel like if you don't bring the fight to him, he's not going to bring it to you. That makes sense?
Yes. I feel what you're saying.
So,
he's
willing to dance. Yeah. Big facts.
I mean, people forget that there was quite a few fights where Anderson Silva did the same thing. He laid Talis Latis. Remember that fight?
Yes.
There was many fights where, he laid back and waited for guys to come at Anderson.
With the Damian Maia.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? And I mean, boy, Danny was mad about that one, you hear me? But at the same time, that's the way he won.
Yes.
Because why would I engage with you knowing what you're trying to do?
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So like I said, with that being said, I'm not mad at Izzy because he going to do whatever it takes to keep that belt. That's the money.
Right.
Alex Pereira wants that. But the thing is, though, I don't think his ability is going to be there in order to take it away from him. And they just going to be standing right in front of him, and it's going to be a kickboxing bout. And they were like, oh, well, the other ones were kickboxing, but you already seen from Izzy, well, I was a little bit more emotional in those other fights. And that's why I lost. But then you see the strategic Izzy now. I don't see Alex Pereira beating him.
Interesting. Very interesting. I take into account what you're saying about the 5 rounds and the weight cut, because that is a big factor. That's a big factor.
That's the hugest factor, yeah.
Because Alex is so big, but without the wrestling threat, because Izzy's not really a guy who takes anybody down.
I'm about to say, who out there wrestling?
Right.
So everybody think like, oh, Izzy going to turn into a wrestler. No, he ain't.
No.
You only fight the way you train.
Yeah.
And not saying you don't work on that element of wrestling, but I don't see Izzy like shooting a jab, shooting a cross, shooting a hook, and double leg.
No.
That's not finna happen.
I mean, if it does, I'll be stunned.
I'll be shocked.
I'm sure he can do it.
I'll be shocked. But thing is, though, now you got to engage with, and that boy a sniper. Alex Pereira, can we pull up that, if you don't mind?
Please.
With Alex Pereira, with him shooting, like, you know what I'm saying, sniping with the arrows.
Yeah, when he shot the soccer ball.
Bro, man, that's crazy, because my biggest thing is, though, like, Alex Pereira is the same type of beast, too, right? He's a trap. He waits all day, and once you expose yourself or you come close enough, he hits you.
Like Sean Strickland.
Exactly. Oh.
Yeah. Sean Strickland stood right in front of him.
Oh, but it wasn't even just standing right in front of him. He was marching him down with his hands down.
Well, yeah, he keeps his hands like he has a very strange style.
Yeah,
so here's him.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, this was cold.
It's pretty badass.
This was cold, man.
It's pretty badass.
And it ain't one of those special little arrows either, like bow and arrows. Like it's one of them he just made in the house.
Well, that's a recurve bow.
He grabbed a stick and grabbed a string.
Yeah, that's a recurve bow. That's a much harder bow to shoot than what I shoot. I shoot a compound bow.
Man,
that takes real skill. Yeah, look at him. That roar that he has is terrifying.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about this fight, man. I don't know, what kind of preparation he's done in terms of getting himself lighter for a 5-round fight and making sure that the cut is not as bad. I don't know, but he looks shredded.
Yeah, he looks shredded, man, and he looked like he killing himself to make that weight. That's all I'm gonna say.
He certainly is losing a lot of weight to make that weight.
He killing himself to get to that weight. But like I said,
but he's done it many times.
But you see Izzy doing all this press, doing all this stuff. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'll be like, it's a positive thing. But at the same time, like I ain't never seen him do this much work before or preparation for a fight where it comes to like selling it. Yeah, press. Yeah.
Yeah, but they make you do that. I mean, this is Madison Square Garden.
But this is the most I've ever seen. I pay attention to these fighters all the time because they in the weight class, right? I want to be these guys, right? I want to take their belt, right? So I pay close attention to what they do all the time, and especially Izzy because he's the champ, So besides it just being ESPN Plus, he got his own YouTube channel and everything like that. And I mean, like, I feel like he done amped it up even more. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's either showing me that you have a lot of confidence, about yourself, and you able to take this fight. I want to say not so serious, but not as serious because you doing other stuff on top of this, right? Alex Pereira is only focusing on training and fighting right now. There ain't no press for him for real. You know what I mean? So he's taking it into initiative. I'm talking about Izzy to promote this fight as best as he can. So you also taking away from your training at the end of the day, right? So I feel like he think he's good enough to do what he's gonna do in order to take time away from his training.
But isn't that just what the UFC obligates him to do? Because he's selling the fight and he has pay-per-view points.
Not with everything.
But he has pay-per-view points.
I feel you, but I feel like
he also is the only one that speaks English. Alex doesn't speak English.
Yeah, true story. So that makes it difficult. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of stuff he's been doing on his own as well. Doing extra stuff, which I don't mind it because you got to promote the fight. You got to do whatever you got to do in order to get people to buy in, And to be honest with you, it's not that hard of a buy-in because even with Alex Pereira not being able to speak English, he's the only person that beat him, only person that knocked him out. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's an easy sell on itself. So my thing is, why is Adesanya trying so hard? You know what I mean? Like, this is the one that if I wasn't an MMA head and I was just like, whatever, just watching this stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, that'd be interesting to watch. Dude that already knocked him out. This dude is undefeated in MMA, but still could be a close fight. I'll watch it, But Izzy is going about his way. And like I said, I don't know what's going on in his head, but I feel like he's not trying to think about the fight itself, even though it is the press conference and all this other stuff. He's trying to get himself more calm, right? He want to be around more people. I forget who. It's another fighter that talked about that, and the reason why he always stayed, in the press and in interviews because it took him away from the fight. They always wanted to be in the light. I forget what.
I know what you're saying. So, the more you do other stuff, you could just have fun and it loosens you up and talk to people.
Exactly, and you ain't got to actually focus on the actual mission itself. You just go to the mission. So I don't know. It's two ways to go about it. And I feel like if Izzy goes out, like I said, emotional, he will get caught, So I feel like he needs to keep doing, like even when he play around, like, oh, I might just kick his leg and just jab him the whole fight. Do that. Even with him joking, do that.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, that's how you've been winning your fights this whole time. A lot of them.